Okay, we're continuing this and just like that conversation. So if you have not watched still, I'm going to slap another spoiler alert if you have not watched and just like that yet. Do not listen to us talk about this. I know we talked about it on Friday, but big old spoiler alerts. Going to do it again. We're talking about these episodes. There's 2 episodes out. Now, we talked about this on Thursday. And the first 2 episodes came out this weekend. I think a lot more people watched it. I saw a lot more people talking about it. And on Friday, the Peloton stock was down 11%.
Plummeted.
Now, I was looking at the graph. Peloton was kind of on a decline anyway, but just as far as one day goes, it was a lot because people are very upset.
And it should be going up around this time because it's Christmas time and people are getting Peloton as gifts. This was a big family dinner discussion in the Chiffo household because my mom was so upset. So she was fucking gutted about Mr. Big.
I was so
And then
upset.
my dad is so into the stock market, so he was like talking about Peloton.
Yeah.
And this was just such an interesting conversation to have, but everyone is so upset. Nobody's happy about this, first of all, and certainly not Peloton.
No, I said I would love to be a fly on the wall on Friday in any of the offices or any that Zoom meeting that they're all on, the executives being like, how do we? And look, it'll
we come back from this?
It'll bounce back. It'll be
another
fine,
show has to get a Peloton in and save somebody's life.
But just a day, and the fact that they also had this doctor who's on the board of, I don't know what it is, cardiologist, basically insinuating that Mr. Big lives such an unhealthy lifestyle as it is, cigars, drinking, the whole investment banking life, that potentially the Peloton could have prolonged his life longer than if he just continued with his lifestyle the way it was. It was just, and it's just funny because but they are they're talking about it in the show. I'm watching the episodes and Steve is that damn bike, and then they're having this debate. Miranda's oh, but it's not the bike. You know how he lived.
And but they're still having a conversation about the fucking bike. Peloton.
This was in the second episode.
The whole
second
creators
episode,
of the show.
I not only was I gutted watching the episode. The second episode is entirely funeral planning and all this stuff. And there's a moment that involves Samantha, and obviously she's not there. She's in London, is what the story is. And Carrie fired her as her publicist, and their friendship was never the same after that. And she's in London, and there's this moment where I no joke clutched my chest. I was oh, alone watching this as I was just crying. Oh, and they're all speaking. Mr. Big's brother. It's just, I still could not really believe it.
In the next season of Curb, Larry David has to write an episode about Peloton, but it has to be in Peloton's favor somehow. It's got to be Soul Cycle versus Peloton in some capacity, and Peloton comes out on top because they're both HBO shows, and HBO owes it to Peloton at this point in time, because I bet you the people at Peloton fucking hate these writers, just for whatever, just because now it's just become the premise of the show. It's was it the Peloton?
There's no way that they could sue, right?
I don't think so.
No, you can't sue this for defamation.
It's a fictional show,
and also an inanimate object.
If throughout the whole season they're Peloton killed, at some point you have to be
Peloton
all right.
killed Mr. Big. Yeah, it's fucked.
I mean, it's just it's still absolutely ridiculous that was the way he went. And I was really deep into reading interviews and all this stuff. And Michael Patrick King, he was talking about bringing Chris Noth back in the first place, and how he's always kind of had a love-hate relationship with the character and with Mr. Big as just a character, and playing him being so great, but then also not being able to play anything else because in everyone's eyes he's always Mr. Big and this whole thing. But of course,
I also see him as Richard.
Yeah, yes, having that, and having that conversation of who's Richard?
Is that not the two same people? No, it's Tom Selleck.
I was about to say, are you talking about Richard from Friends? Because that's not Chris Noth.
That's Tom Selleck.
Yes. It took me a second. I was like, wait,
that also took. I was like, wait a second. No.
And that like it was like, oh well, do you want to come back? And like he dies, and Christoph's like, well, no, like I don't want to fucking kill Mr. Big, but this is what happened anyway. And another part of this, which is funny because yes, it is a fictional show, but I was dying at Jonah Hill's Instagram. He just posted a notes picture on his feed that was so funny. It was just him like, but why didn't Carrie call 911 immediately? That's all he wrote. But why didn't Carrie call 911 immediately? I got the same question. And Ireland Baldwin posted a very funny TikTok as well, I think with her friend or boyfriend, whoever that is. And they reenacted the scene. It's like the back and forth, and he's like clutching his heart like on the bathroom floor, and she's like slow-mo being like, like, and like not picking up the phone, not calling anyone. Everyone's like, why the fuck wouldn't she immediately call 911? I know it's a fake show.
But
she just held him and as he died.
It's like in the moment though.
You call 911.
I would hope that in the moment I would call 911.
No, I would hope so too, but like, are you so shocked that this person's dying that you just like start freaking out and don't know what to do and you just forget to call 911?
No, because I truly think that in the moment of freaking out,
call 911 immediately.
I just think that like, if I'm in that situation, I'm not a doctor. So like in my mind, I'm like, I don't know how to fix
like,
this
let me
except call 911.
Right, like let me get someone here immediately.
That's the only way you could do that. So it just felt like, and I know they were gonna like. It was a cop out. That was a point. He wasn't gonna have a heart attack and then live. Like the whole point was that the heart attack was gonna kill him. But just having this like sad shower running, he's dying, and it's not like he's dead when she gets home. And she looks at him and he's like already dead. He's still fucking alive when she comes in. It's like call 911.
They really knew how to
got me.
Yeah.
They got my panties in a
when Derek Shepard died, like just that, like you're so mad.
You got your panties in
a bunch.
You got your panties. You got your panties in a joint.
Yeah,
I could tell. I got your panties in a joint. You can't even speak about it.
It is like Derek. Yeah, it was just.
It's just like they could save him, but they're not in the show.
Well, they're not. That was a whole other thing. They were having issues with Derek Shepard, the actor. So that's
that's like he's just getting killed off in general.
Yeah. But yes, there are so many times when, like, off screen they agree, like, oh, this character's gonna die, or like we're gonna have them go out, and it's like, could we do it in a realistic way? And you know, the whole episode, there were so many great moments between Carrie and Big, and then there was like this masturbation scene that was a little weird, and then he dies.
Couldn't you argue that is a realistic way? Like, would you want him to get hit by a car? That's not that realistic.
No, a heart attack, of course, is very realistic.
But
and like
they
said, Mr. Big has lived an unhealthy lifestyle,
like
so
maybe
you never
he's
know.
just like cooking breakfast and has a heart attack.
Yeah,
like he's not on the.
But I feel like exercising makes sense.
I know the heart attack could have come at any moment, though. Really, if he lived this so-called unhealthy lifestyle that they're talking about that killed him, you know, it's like he could have been doing anything for the heart attack to come in. But yeah, this all in all, also just the show in itself. I know there's only 2 episodes. But like there's some moments that I'm like, this is great, and then some moments where I'm like, oh boy, it just kind of like feels like they're trying too hard. Some of the new characters, Miranda trying to like keep up with like, Miranda feels like she's not acting like Miranda. I don't know.
It's been a long time.
There's a lot of, I know. It's just a lot of like, and I guess it makes sense because it's a different time. So the show is of course going to be different, but it just feels like they tried a little bit too hard to be like 2021 Sex in the City, like.
Yeah.
So
a lot of shows do that now.
I know.
They try too hard to be like, we're in the present moment. Oh my God. Instagram, Twitter.
Yeah.
I'm on my iPhone. Like, it's like, all right, we get it.
But I like
I'm
when
still
shows
watch
don't even. Once again, as I continue to complain, but I'll still watch it, see what happens. But
I like when shows don't even address what year it is. It's like, we just know.
We just
know that we're in this present year, and that's that.
Yeah.
Like Succession is good at that, right? Like they all have the updated phones, and once in a while, like Greg mentioned Twitter like once, and it's like, okay, we know where we are.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree with that, because there's also the argument of like, when you watch TV, like, do you want there to be a pandemic? Do you not want there to be a pandemic? Some shows do it, some shows don't do it. They do it in Sex and the City. They're talking about Post. It's like, they made a couple references. So I'm going to continue watching, but it really did feel like all weekend long the world was watching and being like, 1, that is unfortunate for Peloton. 2, why the fuck didn't she call 911 immediately?